And now I'm going to get to probably the most asked question that I've been asked, not just today, not just yesterday, and not just on this Ask Me Anything, and not just on my Instagram. In the last month, the question that I have been asked the very most is, how has Andrew's conversion to Islam affected your brotherhood? How has it affected your relationship? Is it going to affect your relationship? Is it going to be strange living in a household with two faiths? Are you going to convert? These are a bunch of questions that have obviously come through, and I'm going to try to answer all of them within the next few minutes. So, Andrew's initial point about Islam he was making many months ago before he officially went loud with his conversion. I knew about his thoughts and the way his heart was leaning for a very long time. And Andrew made a very good point, a very strong point. And his point about Islam was this. He said, if you walk around a Catholic country, a country like Italy, and you insult Jesus Christ, or if you walk around England and you insult Jesus Christ, you could say offensive things about him. You could tell an English person or an Italian, here you go, say something bad about Jesus Christ or your God. Here's some money. Will you do that? And people would do that largely as a whole. And also saying bad things about, Jesus Christ and their God. Nobody would face any repercussions. You could walk around the street freely saying these slanderous things, which is very rude and very impolite, and nobody would do anything about it. However, in the Muslim world, you see where I'm going here, such example is simply unthinkable. A Muslim would never insult his own prophet. He'd never insult his own God. And that too, if you were in a Muslim country or even in the presence of Muslim people and you were to insult their God or their prophet, they would be absolutely furious. Someone might even punch you in the face. And that's very fair enough. But what Andrew failed to mention, which is a point that I think I'm going to raise right here, is there are people in the world who will punch you in the face if you insult Jesus Christ and if you insult Jesus Christ or the Virgin Mary or anything. And those people are the Muslims. Now, if you don't know religion and you don't know religious history very well, then I guess you don't know that one of the most important prophets in Islam is Jesus, son of Mary, as they refer to him, or Jesus Christ, as us Christians call him. So this, Dubai, the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates, the Muslim world is a part of the world where you could not walk around and freely insult Jesus. So I feel perfectly at home in the Middle East, and I feel perfectly at home living with my brother, who is now a Muslim. He's going to put a Quran up above his title belts in the house. I have no problem with that book being in my house. I am very happy for my brother and the decision he made. I think that it's going to benefit him in the long run. I think that he's a lot happier than I've seen him in a very long time, and good for him. Now, I was asked about my own conversion or potential conversion, and here was my answer. My answer was very simple. Some idiot, actually, here in the Middle East, some British guy, said to me, oh yeah, if you convert to Islam, that'd be really beneficial to you and it would help you out in lots of ways. And I explained to him, I said, that's not how conversion works, my friend. And if I were to live in the Middle East, although living as a Christian, even if it was more difficult, which it's not because it's a very free, open country with freedom of religion, I would not convert for the reason of getting any kind of material or social benefit. I don't think that's how conversion works. I don't even think you choose to convert, no more than you choose to believe that the sky is blue or that the ocean's filled with water. I believe that conversion is something that happens to you. Now, I've been doing a lot of reading. A lot of people in Dubai have gifted me some wonderful books, The Miracles of the Prophet Muhammad and so on. And I enjoy reading this material. Conversion isn't something that I plan to do because I don't believe it's something people plan to do. I believe it's something that naturally happens to people and something that, you don't choose, because you don't choose to change your mind. You don't choose to change your mind. Your mind just naturally changes as you're persuaded. So as for a personal conversion, I will say no, that's probably not coming. It's certainly not coming yet. If it does happen, it will be an organic process. But nevertheless, I believe that Christians and Muslims are now finally united. So over the history of Christianity and Islam, there's been lots of fights, and there's been lots of arguments, and there's been lots of wars, and the Crusades, when the Christians went in and tried to take Muslim land from them, and the Ottoman Empire too invaded Europe through Romania and got even to the gates of Vienna. There was lots of beef between Christians and Muslims, but that was obviously due to religious differences, because people were let's call them zealots back then. But Also, it was about political power. It was about who controls the land, who controls the laws, who controls the countries. I believe that Christianity and Islam are now closer linked than ever before. I believe they're closer linked now than they even were in the day of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who by the way, encouraged religious freedom and lived completely peacefully with Christians. I believe today we are united by a common enemy. I think that the evil actions of what's happening in the world, the degeneracy, the perversions, the horrible things that we see every single day on our TV screens, the atrocities committed in the name of all sorts of nonsense, even reproductive freedom, the millions and millions of babies being aborted every single day. It's tragic, and I believe that Christianity and Islam now stand hand in hand as brothers against the moral degeneracy of the world. So I don't see a time in the future where there's going to be any kind of beef between Muslims and Christians. And if you think there's going to be any beef in my house between me and my brother, you are wrong. So I think that covers the Andrew Muslim countries.